With news about the upcoming Modern Warfare trickling in oh so slowly, we decided to take a trip down memory lane and recount some of the best multiplayer maps that have ever graced the series. If you're anything like us, you'll have spent countless hours between each of these four walls, so sit down, grab a cuppa, and prepare to have those nostalgia glands massaged for these next few minutes. Before we start, the criteria. These are the maps that are well balanced for both teams and all weapon types, adored by the wider community, competitively viable, and have no wasted space. Alright, we hear ya, let's get on with it. We'll start at the salty shores of Seatown, which is actually a lot more urbanised than the name suggests. Instead of a stroll along the beach, this small medium map is a seaside market town that's completely balanced between each team, and allows for multi-level fighting, either in the streets among the chickens, or upstairs in one of the various buildings. Whether you snipe, rush, or camp, Seatown welcomes you with open arms. Skid Row is probably one of Modern Warfare 2's best maps. It took the best bit of CoD 4's block and ran with them, resulting in a well-balanced city arena that split down the middle. With more choke points than you can shake a SPS 12 at, every camping spot can be countered and flanked. Domination games on Skid Row played more like King of the Hill, with whoever controlled the B flag controlling the game, showing just how balanced it was. Just as hectic as the real London Underground and nearly as dangerous, Underground is a community favourite that mixes indoor and outdoor warfare incredibly well. If Underground were to find its way into the 2019 Modern Warfare's map pool, it'd probably be a bit too crazy to be played competitively, but when you're queuing online, an experience this fun is something to cherish. Shout out to the map keeping its balance, despite one end starting with higher ground. The smallest map in our list, this jumbo jet graveyard is fast-paced and frantic. Bobbing and weaving and among the 10-ton airplane carcasses to flank your enemies was always great fun if you had an SMG. And even if you're more of a sniper, there were some decent vantage points to get some one-shot kills. Straight up, a perfect CoD map. Backlot supported every game mode with ease, and every inch of this richly thematic Iraqi town was used for battle. Each building had its own pros and cons, offering you more lines of sight for a quick snipe, while simultaneously exposing you in every direction. The best representation of that point is the mounted 50 cal, which allowed you to rain death, sure, but you probably wouldn't last long when using it. Jumping on that thing was a real Hail Mary play. A long, thin map that constantly cycles where each team spawns in respawn modes, meaning the entire map is fought over rather than just the middle. Speaking of the middle, Ambush's centre is purpose built for cat and mouse battles between snipers and rushers. Plenty of rooftops and enclosed buildings make for a sniper's dream, but any line of sight had plenty of cover, like broken vehicles, long grass and even an underground sewer shortcut. Few things in CoD 4 were more satisfying than nabbing a low to high headshot on Crossfire, particularly on Search and Destroy. Despite the attackers starting with the higher ground, the map was balanced very well, with both sides able to keep eyes on certain key checkpoints. Each building is designed to perfection as well, with short corridors ensuring there's still enough close quarter combat to test each player's reflexes, despite the map being on the larger side. It's always cool when a map has a change of elevation but stays balanced. Crossfire was fun for any game mode and came with some great sniping perches. One of the most dynamic maps in this list, Highrise, has all sorts of secret routes and passageways, so you can pop out from nowhere and scare the ever-loving heck out of your opponents. Respawn modes also switch the spawns all over the place, so it's a constantly shifting, unpredictable warzone that's loved by pretty much every Modern Warfare 2 player, and all sorts of fun. If the community voted for their favourite Modern Warfare 2 map ever, Terminal would undoubtedly be the #1 choice. It's thematic, with its airport setting a far cry from the dusty towns and rundown cities where most Modern Warfare maps take you. Casually, it's a fun and frantic map with a ton of varied passages. Competitively, it's an absolutely fantastic domination map that could easily handle competitive play if Terminal made a return in this year's CoD. It's a great setting to play some fast-paced Call of Duty, but opponents can pop out from anywhere, so stay vigilant. In other words, remember, no rushing. Rounding down the greatest Modern Warfare maps to just 10 was a difficult task, and it seems only right we tip our hats to a couple of the honourable mentions, Shipment and Rust. The two maps were quintessential for a good pub game slaughter, and made for some truly entertaining matches. Spawn kills, explosives and close quarter combat were to be expected, and these were the battlefields you could rack up a ridiculous number of kills with no care for how many deaths you had. Although too small for certain game modes and competitive play, Shipment and Rust still have a special place in our hearts. Crash is the only map in our list that made the jump from CoD 4 to Modern Warfare 2, and Infinity Ward made the port for good reason. Crash is bloody brilliant. Most maps are either balanced or asymmetrical, Crash is both. The maps are completely different design on either side, but neither is overpowered, which is no mean feat for a game like CoD. Any weapon type, any playstyle and any game mode is balanced to perfection. Overall, this is the perfect Modern Warfare, hell, the perfect CoD map, and it'd be a massive shame if we couldn't play this in Modern Warfare 2019. So there you have it, Crash is the best Modern Warfare map of all time. It's of course though, just our opinion. What do you think? Have we called it right? Let us know what you think in the comments and which maps you hope make it into this year's game. Otherwise, thanks for watching.